What's up, you guys? Thank you for clicking on this video. So as you can tell by the title, talking Transformers Reactivate again here on the channel. Bit more of a topical video, no real news or updates that I want to discuss here. Just kind of culminating most or everything that we know so far and giving my thoughts on was this game rightfully canceled? It got me thinking about this because of the recent Transformers Rise trailer that was leaked that was supposed to release in 2020 during, I think, E3, but was canceled because it got shuffled around and because of what was happening that year. It just never released, and we got the teaser that we got ultimately in the end 2 years later, and, the game never came out 3 years later, so it's pretty crazy. But, this game was in development for like 8-9 years. And, it's been over 10 years since our last major console game. The last one we had was Transformers Devastation. And I'm sitting here thinking, man, with the trailer that we got leaked, some of the gameplay that we have leaked, some of the info that has been revealed over the last few years on what this game was about, the premise, plot, everything of that, characters, and just everything we know involved with this. I think the only saving grace for this game was the designs and certain story aspects that were involving the Quintessons, the Autobots and Decepticons teaming up in a dystopian Earth, the possibility and rumors of Maximals and Predacons joining this game in storyline as well would have been really sick to see in a major console game, but ultimately, again, we didn't get any of that, which is really unfortunate. But overall, just the gameplay, it seems kind of generic. Like, if this game really released, in my opinion, I don't think it would have made a ton of waves. I think it would have been one of those kind of how do you say it? Like, it'll have its own little following, its own little community, kind of like it already has right now, and the game hasn't even released and it's canceled. But I don't think it would be like Fallout or Titanfall or Call of Duty, Halo levels of popular for the year, or GTA and stuff like that. I think it would have its own niche following for, the first few months it came out with a little bit of hype, and it'll have its own little cult following for years to come, and that's that. But it's not going to do amazing numbers similarly to the old Bayverse games or the old Cybertron games. That's just what I think based off of what we've seen from this game. Now, I know info is kind of all over the place. Some of this stuff is old footage, some of it's a bit newer, some of it's from a different company before it got switched over to the last company that was making this game. It's really just all over the place with stuff. But, the trailer that leaked, I think it was like last week at the time of this recording, it was really crappy to me. Like, the music was super cringe. It seemed really cheap. The cutscenes felt like a fan edit that you would see on IG Reels or YouTube Shorts of like an Optimus and Megatron centered fan edit video. You know what I mean? It just didn't feel like a serious official project in a video game trailer. Like, you compare that trailer to something like the trailers from the old Bayverse games or the old Cybertron games, and it's like night and day in terms of the quality, the heaviness of the story, and the elements at play, and the action, and even the movements and the animation. You really feel it with those old game trailers. Even with Rise of the Darkspark, I'd say the trailers for that and the marketing looked a lot better than what we were going to get with Rise or Reactivate. And, I feel like this game, even though it was in development for almost 10 years, and it seemed like they did pour a hell of a lot of money and wasted a lot of time and money on this thing, it felt kind of low budget. It felt kind of cheap compared to the War for Cybertron games and Fall of Cybertron and the Bayverse games. Even though this game is a lot newer, it's 10, 15 years in the future in terms of game technology, and overall it does look better in terms of the scenery, but in terms of just the marketing, the trailers, and the actual gameplay, it feels a bit pulled back in terms of sophistication and complex story and complex gameplay. It feels a little simplified. You know what it feels like? It kind of reminds me of like a simplified version of the gameplay you would get in those Cybertron games, and hell, even the Bayverse games as well, because I'm pretty sure they were all made by Activision, and they did have similar sort of layout in terms of the gameplay. So that is kind of odd to me. I don't like how that looks. Looking at the designs, I think there is a future to be had in terms of the cult following with this game that it's garnered over the last couple of years, and especially since its cancellation earlier this year in January. I think it's really serious, like what Hasbro's been saying in terms of interviews and Instagram DMs, that they are looking at doing more Reactivate characters in Studio Series one day, but in that concept art subline, or maybe even the video game subline. I don't know, Gamer Edition. I think they're really truly looking into that, because those designs, they seem like easy cash grabs in figure form. They seem like designs that would really translate well into anything. Like, they're so different and unique, but you could still tell just by looking at them for a second, oh, this is Optimus, oh, this is Megatron, this Bumblebee, Starscream, Ironhide, Shockwave, you know? It's stuff like that I really think sells those designs in a way, with the complexity, the uniqueness in how they are, while also still staying true to the character, especially for G1ers. You know, that's a thing as well with people that are strictly G1. That really gets that crowd into buying these characters as well, because they see an updated version of those characters from that original cartoon, and they're like, oh, this is like a cool modernized version. I might as well just get this. You know, you got that crowd going for it as well. So I do think there's money and a future with this in Hasbro product, even though the game didn't even come out, because ultimately Hasbro did spend a lot of money on this, millions of dollars. So I definitely do think at some point they would want to kind of recoup those funds, and we've kind of already seen that over the last year and a half, 2 years, because of those 2-packs that released when we didn't even have word on when the game would come out. That was 2 years ago. And then a year and a half later, the game is canceled. And then you have Bumblebee released separately in the Studio Series Gamer Edition line to, again, probably recoup some of those costs and recoup the time that they've lost with keeping those figures probably in warehouses, because I think those figures were supposed to come out like 2-3 years prior than they were last year and the year before. So with all that considered, I think, you know, in terms of the game not coming out, I think it was for the best, because just looking at the trailers, the one that was leaked and the one that was officially released, it felt a little cheaper. It felt like there was less weight to it, and there was going to be... I don't know how to exactly explain it. It just didn't feel as substantial as the trailers we previously got for the last games that were on major consoles, you know? But I do think with the designs, we're going to get a lot of concept art or Gamer Edition figures in the future of these for Hasbro to make some money off of this, because they ultimately did waste a lot of money developing these designs and even further the game, you know? So, but yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments below. Do y'all think this Reactivate game was canceled for the better? And when do you guys think the next major console Transformers game will release? I'd have to say 2028 at the earliest at this point. Maybe 2027. I don't know. Maybe they're going to announce a game before the year is over. We honestly have no idea what they could do, especially with Hasbro moving into gamer-based stuff. But it's kind of crazy they canceled Reactivate after they said that, but I digress. Yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye!